So we're going to take a quick look at Python 3.8.5, and we'll type in an example program, taking a look and specifying some of the items that we just looked at in the last PowerPoint. So what you're taking a look at now is the Python shell. And remember, this is where the output's going to be. I want to actually go to File, New, or Open, or Recent. Okay, so I have a few recent projects I've been working on to go ahead and actually get my editor. So I'm going to go ahead and do New File. And I can move the shell out of the way or leave it there. I'll leave it there for now. So we'll just put this right in the middle. And notice how at the top it says Untitled. I'll eventually have a title for this, but I want to start putting in an example. We'll call this time converter. So one of the comments I'm going to put at the top will be the name of the project. Your name would also be a good comment. The date, maybe the number of times you have edited the project. But we'll leave just the one comment for now. And I'm going to go ahead and type in the rest of the code, and then we'll take a look at each line. Okay, so after you're done typing in all the lines of instruction, notice I did throw in a couple different things down at the bottom here. Number one, I do have a comment. If you have a different section, a heading, a function, you might want to throw a comment to explain what's going on in that section. I also want to point out the space that's after my prompt. Okay, notice the nested function, input and float, space after the prompt. But also notice that I did not use a space in the first line of print, and that's because I did not need a space there. I was moving on to another print. Notice with the hours, minutes, and second, I switched up the types of quotes. I have a single quote, double quote, or triple quote. All will work. Once you have it typed in, check to see if there's any syntax errors. So what we're going to do for that is first go up here and do save. Now it's the first time I'm saving it. So it's going to want to know a name. And I should make sure that I select a location. Previous to this, I created a Python project folder on the desktop. That's where I'm going to save it. And I will call this time converter. Hit save. Okay, notice the path. There's time converter .py file extension, and there's version 3.85. Okay, here's the name. Go ahead and run module. And this is why I mentioned you could get rid of the original shell. So I'll actually close that out in the back. So here's our output. Okay, let's throw in a couple items here. So I'll throw in 3600 for seconds, hit enter. Here's the time in hours, minutes, and seconds. Hours 1, minutes 0, okay, seconds. Everything looks pretty good as far as syntax. What I do not like is the lack of space here. And that's why you always test your projects. Okay, you don't just want to go ahead, type it in, and then submit. You want to check it out. So I am going to make sure I have a space here, and you should remember how we do that. \n inside the parentheses. Should take care of that. And if I run this again, it's going to ask me if I want to save it. I already found location, so I'm just going to hit OK. Enter number of seconds, 3600, one more time. And that looks a lot better. Okay, so let's go ahead and close out of that. And we'll take a closer look at what's going on here. So, a closer look at the code. Second line is getting the number of seconds from the user, converting the value to a float, and assigning it to the total seconds variable. The third line, we see that we're calculating the number of hours in the specified number of seconds. There are 3,600 seconds in an hour, So this statement divides the total seconds by 3,600. This line calculates the number of remaining minutes. This statement first uses the integer division operator to divide total seconds by 60, and that's going to give us the total number of minutes. Then it uses the modulus operator, okay, that's a percent symbol on the keyboard, to divide the total number of minutes by 60 and get the remainder of the division. Okay, so the modulus operator gets the remainder. That's why it's also called the remainder operator. The result is the number of remaining minutes. This line calculates the number of remaining seconds. There are 60 seconds in a minute, so this statement uses the modulus operator to divide the total seconds by 60 and get the remainder of the division. The result is the number of remaining seconds. And the last block of statements is our printout. Notice how we're using a comma to separate our text from our variable. Notice the variable names are also in just the automatic black font color. Okay, so that takes care of our first example. What I'd like you to do is see if you could type this in, see if you could run it without any syntax errors or logic errors, and we'll be ready to move on.